Alright, here we go. Wait. God damn it. Okay, let's try this again. Press load, and then go to the first save file, right? Right? No, third one. Yes. It's the third one. Yeah, we've begun the second day, so we go to the 7th save file, the third one on the page 2. Alright. Now let's start. What was the sound that always filled the ears? The sound of the rain? The sound of a waterfall? Or was it radio static? In that case, I want it to be the sound of blood flowing through the body. I want it to be the sound of the blood circulating throughout my body, telling me that I'm still alive. Whoa. Oh, Kinzo! Okay.
Asa nanoka.
The light entering through a crack in the curtain was faint, but it at least told him that dawn had broken. Kinzo, still in the same pose he had when he awoke, still sitting in his chair and looking up at the ceiling, felt the blood slowly travel throughout his body. Judging by the clock, it was early morning, 6 on the dot. No matter how tired he was, no matter how deeply he slept, he woke up at exactly this time, as though he had measured it with the hourglass. He didn't think that something like this was worthy of boasting of, but he told himself that while he could still do something like this, he was still in robust health.
朝を迎えたということは、どうやら最初の生贄は逃れたということらしい。
Just don't leave your study, man.
ルーレットの目が幸運だったのか、我が努力の賜物なのか。区別のつかぬところがなんとももどかしいが、それは言うまい。
Kinzo was very slightly driven by a temptation to look at the other side of the study door, because he thought that maybe he might find the traces of a vain struggle to break the door, made by something trying to select him as one of the first 6 sacrifices.
人間とは安っぽい生き物だな。人事を尽くして天命を待ちながら幸運を得られた時にはそれが単なる幸運ではなく己の技量によるものだったとうぬぼれたくもなる。
So, he wanted to check whether there was a wretched mark on the door. That is only human. Therefore, Kinzo did not check. He repressed the things that he wanted to do because he was human. By that, Kinzo could immerse himself in a feeling of sufficiency, as though he had become a being that surpassed humans. Well, he could be a ghost. Who am I to say anything? He might be a ghost. He became aware of human desire, and forbade it. Things that a human wanted to do, he resisted. This eccentric and rebellious sense had surely given him a rare genius, which must have allowed him to succeed in his exploits as he revived the Ushiyamiya family in one generation.
さて、ベアトリーチ。お前が取った6つの駒は何なのか。そして次なる手はどう来るのか。楽しませてもらうぞ。私 私の守りは完璧だ。前回のような無様はさらさぬぞ。
That's an evil laugh. So Kinzo's fine for the first sacrifice. The servants woke early. They had to open the curtains, prepare a breakfast, and complete various other tasks to welcome the guests to a new day. Hey! That's what I'm talking about! Goda is alright! That's what I'm talking about! Hell yeah! Hell yeah, Goda's okay! Alright, I'm happy now. I'm really happy now. Goda was the most enthusiastic. That means this is gonna be a totally different game this time. If Goda's alive, this is a different game. Impressive. You know what? I'm giving you a hand, Goda. You survived! Goda was the most enthusiastic. He had been told to concentrate his efforts, in particular on his work as a chef for the duration of the family conference. And he had been specially exempted from several tasks that servants normally must do. It seemed that Goda, who was a show-off, had a particular feeling of supremacy about that. He left the preparations of the inside of the mansion to Genji and the rest, and worked on preparing breakfast in the kitchen. Okay, Genji's okay. Genji split the work with Shannon and Cannon, and they carried out various tasks. Shannon's also alive this time. Shannon headed to the dining hall and knocked. Last year, the family conference had continued into the small hours of the night. It wouldn't have been odd for this year's conference to continue all the way into the next morning. So, she had knocked out of consideration for the possibility that they were still having a discussion inside. But there was no response, so she opened the door and said good morning. Alright.
おはようございます。いらっしゃいませんか?
The room was cold, and it seemed that the conference had ended a long time before. On top of the table, there was a tea set, from which they had probably been drinking, arranged in a way that would make it easy to clean them up. Cleaning away the tea was a servant's job. So if the family was too caring and cleaned it up themselves, the servants would lose face. Therefore, just doing this much for the servants truly was a pleasing act of kindness. As she approached the table to clean it away, she noticed that something like a memo had been left along with the cups. It had been placed together with the tea set, so, naturally, thinking it was a memo for the servant cleaning up, Shannon took it. Written on it was not a request, nor thanks for preparing the tea, but it's just a single word. Shannon looked at it blankly, and read it out loud.
礼拝堂
Chapel. You know, I didn't know this mansion had a chapel. A small sound kept repeating over and over. It was a sound that would ordinarily have been trivial and insignificant. I hope I stop hearing it soon. Then I could return to my doze, someone thought vaguely. But no matter how much time passed, the sound did not end. It repeated over and over. Ah, shut up! Who is that? Banging on the door constantly. As soon as she realized this, she wrote... I was going to say who I think this is. Hold on, let me say who I think this is. This is probably Rosa from that bed. From looking at this bed, this is probably Rosa. As soon as she realized this, she woke up. Though, it could be someone else, I'm taking a bet it's Rosa because I remember this bed from one of the scenes with Rosa earlier in this game. Someone was knocking. Then, she noticed that there wasn't just a knock, but a voice too.
Rosa-sama. Rosa-sama.
Yep, it's Rosa.
おはようございます。
待って。今行きます。
So Rosa is also alive this time. Okay, so she was in the chapel, and some of the servants are alive, so... Actually, I have no clue who got picked for the first Twilight. Maybe it was the kids. It had been Genji's voice. Looking at the clock, it was still before 7. It was clearly too early to wake the guest. Did something happen that was bad enough to cause this? Oh, definitely. Wait, why would Genji wake up Rosa? If something bad happened, why would he wake up Rosa? Oh, no fucking way. Oh, no. Wait, did everyone else but Rosa die? Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Because all 7 of them were in the chapel. Though if they all were to split up, maybe that could work? They were all up late at night. But would that work that way? It was late at night when they all split up, probably. I don't know about that. Also, we did not see Kumasawa and Naijo in that cutscene, so that gives me the, think those two might be also probable victims of the first Twilight. So I just have to keep on reading. She felt her sleepiness increasingly fade thanks to this ominous premonition. Because Genji had been a familiar servant to Rosa since her childhood days, she opened the door a crack and answered, even though she was slightly defenseless in her pajamas.
おはようございます。早朝から申し訳ございません。
何かあったの？
はい。実は礼拝堂に。
Genji spoke into Rosa's ear and told her something in a small voice. It seemed that Rosa couldn't understand what she was being told after only hearing it once. And after repeating the words back to him several times, she finally realized that apparently something strange had happened. Rosa closed her door for a second, and after changing her clothes, she immediately accompanied Genji as they headed to the mansion. Oh, intriguing. Intriguing. The chapel requires some explanation. Yeah, thank you. It wasn't in the mansion, but in a grove behind the mansion, which could be reached after a short walk. It had been built at the same time that the mansion had been constructed on Rokonjima. So while its outside walls had been repaired many times, making it look new from the outside, it was a very old building. Rosa and Genji dashed the rain together. Just like the previous night, the rain was falling in earnest. Oh my god, that's a huge-ass chapel. For a small amount of people, that's a huge chapel to have on this island, I'm gonna be honest here. Eventually, they began to see the chapel beyond a sparse grove. If all she knew of it was its appearance from the outside, it might have felt like a place of dazzling beauty, where a pair of young lovers might want to hold a ceremony. However, it seemed that in Kinzo's eyes, this was a very sacred place. And Rosa and her siblings had been harshly told not to approach it unnecessarily. So even at this age, no matter what the reason for it, she felt some guilt in approaching the chapel. And was gripped by the fear that this would surely make her father so angry he would slap her across the face. The servant silhouettes could be seen in front of the entrance of to the chapel. Goda, Shannon, and Cannon. Which meant that all of the servants on the morning shift had gathered. A short while ago, Rosa had been told the nature of the situation verbally by Genji. However, without laying eyes on it directly, she really hadn't been able to understand. Probably, all the servants gathered there were the same. Without seeing it with their own eyes, they couldn't understand what was going on. Because, on the door that was the entrance to the chapel, drawn very large, with a creepy, sticky paint-like substance that made one think of blood, was something like a creepy magic circle. Hell's Halls.
何よこれいつ書かれたの
The servants looked at each other. Goda was the first to open his mouth.
申し訳ございません。普段はここへは立ち入りませんもので、いつ書かれたのかはわかりません。
じゃあ最初に見つけたのは誰？はい、私です。食堂へお茶の道具の片付けに行きましたら、礼拝堂と書かれたメモがあったもので。
Shannon held out the memo with a shaking hand.
誰の字？兄さんや姉さんの字ではないわね。それであなたはここへ来てこれを見つけたのね。はい。ローザ様、これを。
But wait, weren't you at the chapel yourself, Rosa? Huh.
Happy Halloween for...
Oh, it says her name, doesn't it? Cannon was pointing at a single line of English written below the creepy magic circle. Until it had been pointed out to her, she had thought it was just another part of the magic circle, and hadn't noticed it. Oh! Written there in English were the words, Happy Halloween for Maria. Oh, I thought it was going to be Rosa's name, but when it says Maria, holy shit. Oh boy. I don't know what to think of this just yet, but oh boy, this is going to be a really interesting chapter, since Rosa's going to be here as the Twilights are going on. And if Maria acts the same as she did last time, well, there's going to be a lot of... Yeah, I don't know how this game is going to play out, knowing Rosa's relationship with her daughter. I'm intrigued to see where this may go, but also I'm very, very scared. I'm very intrigued by how this game is going to go about, because... Hold up, let me look at the characters real quick. So this time, Goda, Shannon, and Rosa, those three are still alive. And in the first game, they died early. So, I'm really, really excited to see how these three will react as the Twilights are going on. And if any of these three become victims of the Twilights. I'm really excited to see that. I'm really excited to see this. And you know what? Goda, fuck it. I'm hoping that you make it to the end like Najo will. Not like Najo did last chapter. Like, you know what? I'm rooting for you, man. Come on, Goda. You have a chance now. Come on, Goda. You can do it. Though, let's be honest here. Goda will probably not make it that long. I'm gonna be honest here. He is probably not gonna make it that long. But you know what? I'm still gonna root for him. I'm gonna root for him. The Witch of the Painting. Happy Halloween for Maria. A wish for an enjoyable Halloween for Maria. A creepy magic circle for Maria. Happy Halloween. The only person who said the words Happy Halloween to Maria yesterday. The symbols matched. The Golden Witch, Beatrice! Oh no, was Maria first Twilight?
あの子いとこたちと一緒に寝てるはずよね。確認した。
申し訳ございません。マリア様のお名前が書かれていたことには今気づきましたもの。まだ確認しておりません。
Oh shit!
至急。
Okay, well that totally changes things up if she was first Twilight.
何やってんのよ。私はマリアの様子を見てきます。それからクラウス兄さんたちにも知らせて、以後の対応の指示を受けて。
After saying that much, Rosa finally noticed that something was out of place. Her own rank within the family conference was the lowest of the 4 siblings. In an abnormal situation like this, why had she been the only one called when the other siblings hadn't? Even if Maria's name had popped up.
まさか。
No way, wait! Hold up! Oh, now this is interesting.
はい。旦那様にご連絡申し上げようとしたのですが、お姿が見当たらず。
So they're all dead. That's what I'm getting. Wait. If Rosa was called first, that means all 3 of the other siblings are dead. Would they inform the spouses? Like, if Natsui was alive, they would inform Natsui first. Maybe? Though Natsui's rank is actually under Rosa, so maybe they would actually inform Rosa first, but Natsui is kind of like the person who runs Rokenjima other than Klaus and Grandpa, so they'll probably tell Natsui. So maybe they will go to Rosa if Natsui's not there. But what about Hideyoshi and Kirie? Well, actually, no. Yeah, no, I don't think they'll go to Hideyoshi and Kirie before Rosa, so this makes sense.
奥様もお部屋におられません。シーツの様子からすると、昨夜はベッドに戻られていないのかもしれません。
Rosa felt something creepy crawling slowly up her back.
礼拝堂の中確認した。
いえ、まだです。確認しようとしたのですが。
実は礼拝堂の鍵は特別でマスターキーに対応しておりません。1本だけある鍵でしか開けられないのですが、その鍵がキーボックスから紛失しているのです。
She didn't want to get any closer to the door with the creepy magic circle if she could help it. Rosa readied herself and approached, and tried pushing and pulling the knob. All she felt was the resistance of the sturdy lock.
入れる窓などがないか探してはみたのですが、もし中を確認するのでしたら窓を破らなければならないかと思います。いかがいたしましょう。
そんな許可私に出せるわけがないわ。お父様の大切な礼拝堂なのよ。そんなことできないわよ。
Then, the events of the previous day swirled around in the back of Rosa's mind. That's right. When I met that witch in the rose garden, didn't she hand Maria an envelope? Yeah. Yes, I'm positive she did. When Maria had tried to open it, that witch had told her not to do that just yet. And then she had definitely said, the time will come to open it. Rosa became convinced. There could be no doubt. That letter, which had been handed to Maria... Wait, how can you make that conclusion? Wait, how did he make that conclusion about that letter? Interesting way of doing it, but I have no clue. Huh. After dashing back to the guest house, Rosa approached the cousin's room while hiding her footsteps. Softly opened the door and peered inside. From the inside, she could hear the healthy snores of young people. The 4 children were all there. Maria was there, sleeping soundly. After heaving a sigh of relief, she entered the room with quiet footsteps. She was after Maria's handbag, which was resting on the sofa. Maria always liked walking around with her treasures. She was probably imitating how her mother always carried her makeup with her. Of course, she was just copying her, so on the inside, it was full of junk. In Maria's case, it was full of small, creepy, occult-like items, and a notebook with things like that written in it. Rosa hadn't once been happy to see her daughter walking around with those kinds of ungirlish things. However, after she had tried to force Maria to stop, they had gone into a big fight, and she had decided to let it be. A Western envelope with the crest of the gold eagle. When she took it out, she could tell that there was a heavy, cylindrical object inside. She could tell by its feel and its weight. There was no doubt. This was a key. After turning around and checking that Maria was still sound asleep, Rosa tore open the envelope and ripped out the contents to her palm. It was a key with an old and intricate design. Rosa grabs that key and dashed out. So the cousins are all fine. Oh. So all the cousins are fine. They didn't get chosen for first Twilight, so that only leaves a few candidates left. Nanjo, Kumasawa, and the 6 siblings, remaining parents. That's what I meant. There are 6 remaining parents, not siblings. The 3 siblings and their spouses are the only ones left, including Nanjo and Kumasawa. Though Beatrice, what if she got picked for her own game? Like, what if she got picked for her own Twilight? That would actually be kind of funny, actually. That would be kind of funny if she got picked for her own game. Anyways, let's get back to the game. So, there's 8 more people left who could be first Twilight. It seemed that Battler noticed those sounds, but after grumbling and turning over in his sleep, he started snoring again. Are we going to... Nope. Okay, we're still with Rosa.
源氏さん、この鍵、ひょっとして礼拝堂の鍵ということは。
これをどこで。はい、これが礼拝堂の鍵です。
Rosa approached the creepy magic circle once again and put the key in the keyhole. There was a strong resistance. After it resisted for a short while, it stopped that resistance with a clunk. Then, squeaking with a noise that hurt one's ears, it slowly began to open. Here we go.
誰かいるの？
Her voice reverberated throughout the massive room. Of course, there was no answer. Beckoning. The chapel had a high ceiling, and the air was cold. And even on this rainy, unsettling day, for some reason, it felt sacred. The servants timidly followed after Rosa.
ローザ様、あれを。
Cannon noticed it immediately and pointed. Over there was the altar. In the place where normally a pastor would preach of God's love, there was a table that shouldn't have been there. At first, it looked like a dining table. And there actually were gorgeous plates and utensils set on the table, enough to make you think that it was a child's birthday party or something. Upon closer inspection, the surrounding area had been decorated with pumpkins and black and orange ribbons. They were probably Halloween decorations. It's ironic because I'm recording this episode on October 18th, around the Halloween season. Though this episode's probably going to be releasing either in November or December, way too late for Halloween. Apologies, everyone. Apologies ahead of time that this is not a timely video, but you know what? Merry Christmas, or Happy New Year's! I don't know when this video is coming out, actually. I'm just saying random holidays. Feliz Navidad! Wait, that's basically Christmas. I'm gonna continue on, I'm sorry. And there were people seated at the table. 3 people on each side, facing each other, seated in chairs. Oh, no fucking way. No fucking way. You Beatrice, you sick fucker. Or is it Beatrice? They could be recognized at a glance. Klaus and his wife, Ava and her husband, and Rudolph and his wife. But if you ask if these were definitely them, you still have to go even closer to check. Because they seemed almost like dolls. Rosa and the rest had opened the door, entered all at once with the sound of many footsteps, and called out, asking if anyone was there. And yet, there had been no reaction. Even assuming they had chosen to ignore them, normally you'd expect there to be some kind of reaction. And there hadn't even been that. So at first, it felt like someone had set down some dolls that looked a lot like them. By now, it wasn't just Rosa, Shannon and Cannon, and even Goda. They were all fighting frantically against the rising creepy emotion tightly grasping their hearts.
兄さん、Aさん。
Oh shit. As she climbed up to the altar, she called out again, but still, the others gave no reaction. Yes. By now, Rosa had accepted it. They were not dolls. She had accepted that they were those very people.
これは。
They approached close enough to be able to see clearly what was on the table. Just like their first impression, it looked like a lovely banquet, reminiscent of a child's birthday party. Plates piled up with sweets, glasses with lovely drinks, several ornaments in the shape of pumpkins. They were all decorated in a Halloween style, and well, it might have been an irrelevant thought at a time like this. She thought this would surely make Maria happy if she could see it. But there's something up with this. They were seated in front of that table, and it looked like they were sleeping. It was an eerie scene, as though a small, fun-looking Halloween party had been stopped in time.
兄さんたち寝てるの？
When she approached even closer to them, she realized that candies were scattered all over the floor. There were candies in very fancy wrapping, cookies, fizzy lemon sweets, chocolates. And they were all distributed across the carpet, which was covered with blackberry and cranberry jam. It was no jam. Red Dread Redemption. I'm sorry. Rosa and the rest finally realized what the situation was. Oh! That's awesome. Rosa and the rest finally realized what the situation was. It was a Halloween party. A banquet for those not of this world. Klaus, Natsui, Ava, Hideyoshi, Rudolph, and Kyrie, 6 people in all, were seated in the chairs, dead, as though they were sleeping. Ushimiya Klaus, corpse found inside the chapel. The direct cause of death is unknown, but it seems his stomach was cut open after... let me read that. But it seems his stomach was cut open, and his intestines were pulled out after his death. Additionally, sweets and candies were packed into his stomach. Welcome, Maria! Happy Halloween! Eat your uncle's candy, baby! Ushimiya Natsui, corpse found inside the chapel. The direct cause of death is unknown, but it seems her stomach was cut open and her intestines were pulled out after her death. Additionally, sweets and candies were packed into her stomach. See? Didn't I tell you? Bellies are full of candy! Well, she had a sweet death. Ushimiya Ava, corpse found inside the chapel. The direct cause of death is unknown, but it seems her stomach was cut open and her intestines were pulled out after her death. Additionally, sweets and candies were packed into her stomach. Everyone has a belly that's filled with sweet dreams. Ushimiya Hideyoshi, corpse found inside the chapel. The direct cause of death is unknown, but it seems his stomach was cut open and his intestines were pulled out after his death. Additionally, sweets and candies were packed into his stomach. A belly could never be full of disgusting things. Ushimiya Rudolph, corpse found inside the chapel. The direct cause of death is unknown, but it seems his stomach was cut open and his intestines were pulled out after his death. Additionally, sweets and candies were packed into his stomach. That's why we want to be simple and sweet like candy. Ushimiya Kyrie, corpse found inside the chapel. The direct cause of death is unknown, but it seems her stomach was cut open and her intestines were pulled out after her death. Additionally, sweets and candy were packed into her stomach. So this is Dreamland for you. Happy Halloween, Maria! I'm having too much fun with this, I'm sorry. I'm having too much fun with this. How could you tell that they were dead and simply not sleeping? That was because there were, from their chests to their stomachs, vertically sliced open. Wait, what did you say? Wait, Shannon, can you repeat what you said? What was that? What did you call him? Tama-sama? Okay, I just wanted to hear what she said, like... I guess that's another way to say master, I guess? I need to hear this one more time. I am not doing this on purpose. I just want to hear what she's calling Klaus. Is she calling him Tamu-sama? This is like the 10th time I heard you squeal. I'm sorry, Shannon. The 6 of them were seated at a Halloween party. All of them killed. With their stomachs sliced open. Was the jam that covered the floors something they couldn't finish eating? Which had overflowed out of their stomachs? No! The contents of their stomachs had been splattered all across the floor! And that wasn't all. From their stomachs, almost as though they had spilled out sweets! Whoa. Candies and cookies, fizzy lemon sweets and chocolates had spilled out, stained with blood, and had scattered across the floor! Beatrice was imitating Willy Wonka's birthday party! I'm sorry, for some reason this was reminding me of Willy Wonka. What could have happened to cause this? It was almost as though the insides of their stomach had been stuffed full of sweets, and when their stomachs had been cut, it had all flowed out. Rosa remembered a gross-out meal, a turkey that had been served at her own birthday when she was a young girl. When she had put the knife in, from the inside, her very favorite, but because no one had told her about it at all. Bright red, ketchup omelet rice had poured out like blood-stained maggots. Dripping, slimy, pulpy, sticky! Oh, I noticed that there was some blood on the candies. I just now noticed that. The trauma of her youth was revived. Rosa felt like a monster raging inside her stomach as the acid started to rise up. Unable to hold back, she threw up on the floor. Her empty stomach couldn't throw up anything but stomach acid. This scene in front of her was no longer a fun Halloween party by any means. The 3 couples had been placed there, with their stomachs vertically wrenched open with a clap. Lots and lots of sweets had been stuffed in their pulpy puguru. I'm trying to pronounce it differently. Okay. Puguru. There we go. That's how it's supposed to be pronounced. Blood and guts and sweets were overflowing onto the floor. Blood-stained, sticky, sloppy, pulpy, sweet candy stuck to each finger. Gummy. But it's stained with their intramural, sloppy, pulpy. What was that I stepped on just now? That didn't feel like a candy or a cookie or a fizzy lemon sweet or a chocolate. I'm so scared I can't even look at the bottom of my foot to see what I stepped on. What a gruesome Halloween party. From far away, it looked really beautiful, fantastical, and fun. And when you see it up close, it's really terrible, disgusting, and yet still somehow beautiful. I can say fantastical, but I don't think this scene would be beautiful by any means to my eyes. Rosa's wild thoughts tried as best as they could to escape her throat with a loud voice that was neither a scream nor a roar. You said some. Wait, what did you call him? I'm sorry, I just want to know.
旦那様
Donna-sama? Donna-sama?
旦那様
Okay, I'm just gonna rely on the comments for this one because I have no clue.
なのってひどいひどい
救急車警察
そうよ警察警察警察警察警察警察
If a word tied to reality like police hadn't come out of Goda's mouth, Rosa and the West would probably still have been unable to escape this nightmarish party. But that wasn't because they thought that the police might be able to do something. If they didn't say police out loud, it felt like another seat would be set up at this demon's party and given to them. It felt like their own stomachs were getting uncomfortably filled from the inside. Rumbling, churning. It was surely because candy was starting to overflow from their stomachs. Rosa was again tortured by a desire to vomit and threw up her stomach acid on the floor. And then she searched to see whether there was any candy mixed in. Oh shit. Rosa coughed violently again, and violently spat up the stomach acid that burned her throat onto the floor. She realized that by now, her whole body had become covered in filthy sweat.
源氏さんとシャナンちゃんお父様に連絡して指示を仰いでちょうだい郷田さんはカノン君と一緒に行って警察に電話をあと南條先生に来てもらう
Have Nanjo come here and what? It's way too late for medical care. Damn. The servants accepted their orders and dashed outside. After watching them leave, Rosa once again fixedly cast her eyes upon her siblings, who had been through life's joys and sorrows with her, and their partners. Even though there could be nothing more tragic, for some reason, their fantastical deaths tempted her to describe them as beautiful. That's disturbing. That's disturbing.
Inena. どこに行っちまったんだろうな。
使用人室も厨房も空っぽだぜ。一体どうしちまったってんだ。
Where the hell is Kumasawa and Nanjo? Okay, Nanjo maybe he's still in his room or something since it is early, but where the hell is Kumasawa? Morning, Maria.
.弱ったね。バトラ君、本当にローザおばさんだったのかい？まあ、俺も寝ぼけてたから自信はねえんだが。明け方にローザおばさんが入ってきて、マリアの手提げカバンを漁ってるような気がしたんだよ。俺はてっきりマリアの手提げに歯磨きのチューブでも入ってるんじゃないかなんて思って寝ぼけてて。
なんで歯磨きのチューブがマリアの手提げに入ってるんだよ。
Just in case, you need some emergency toothpaste.
寝ぼけて夢でも見たに決まってんぜ。
Battler vaguely remembered Rosa entering the cousin's room. And Maria, who had woken up first, had started rampaging around, saying that someone had opened the envelope that she had been keeping safe. And so they had started wondering whether Rosa might have come and opened it.
黄金の魔女様の封筒か。中に何が入ってたんだろ
う。わからないね。でもあの封筒はおじい様が新書に使う後ろ宮家の家紋の入ったものだった。親族会議と無関係なものが入っていたとは考えがたいね。
She hadn't let anyone touch it, but yesterday, Maria had bragged a lot about the envelope to Battler and the rest. So they remembered it well.
ジョージの兄貴の言う通りなら相当重要なものらしいが、しかしそんな大事なものをどうして魔女様はマリアに渡したんだろうな。さっぱりだぜ。
The refreshing morning atmosphere had been completely wiped out by the occasional sounds of thunder. It was only natural. Since the time they had woken up, they hadn't met anyone other than themselves. It felt like the mansion had become an empty husk, leaving only them behind.
おーい！誰かいないか
One second. I really need to blow my nose. I really need to blow my nose. Like, there's just something hanging at the lower edge of my nose, and I just need to get it out. I'm sorry, everyone. I need to grab a tissue real quick.
返事してくれよ
After Jessica called out into the hallway, an answer finally came back. It was from the entrance hall.
聞こえますとも。何かありましたか？
南條先生だ。よかった。この島から僕たち以外が消えてしまったわけではないようだよ。
You're really suspicious, but since you might be the good wizard, I'm gonna let you
南條
pass.
先生、おはようございます。すみませんが、うちの親たちとかどこに行ったか知りませんか？
はて、私も今起きてこちらに来たばかりですからな。わかりかねますが、さて。
It was only natural. Nanjo was a guest, like the rest of them. He had just now come to pass the time in the parlor until breakfast. Maria buried her face in Nanjo's well-built stomach, sobbing and crying. Nanjo could do nothing but be bewildered at what was going on so early in the morning.
誰かかけてくるぜ。ジェシカ、誰か来るぞ。
From down the hall, they could sense people running hurriedly. When they looked, they saw that it was Godan Cannon. Running inside the mansion should have been immodest for a servant. And yet, Battler and the rest didn't even think to question that now. Maria, sobbing, had become so unmanageable, they wanted to ask someone, anyone, where Rosa was. But the two servants ignored Jessica as she waved her hand. Gota flew into the servant room, and Cannon, noticing that Nanjo was here, bowed and approached him at a quick pace, and whispered something into his ear.
何ですって？ローザさんが。
はい。ご案内いたしますので、どうかご同行お願いいたします。
わかりました。
こちらへ。
Without saying anything more than that, Cannon finally noticed Jessica and bowed to her. But he wasn't calm. He dashed back down the corridor by which he had come, followed by Nanjo. By looking at how hurried they were, Battler and the rest realized that something bad really had happened. They saw Gota through the door to the servant room, which had been flung open. He had the telephone receiver in hand, and was violently pressing the hook. From that, they realized he was trying to call a hospital, or the police, or in any event, he was trying to call someone because a serious emergency had occurred.
行ってみようぜ。
Ooh, I cannot wait for the kids to see what's in store for them! That's probably a yes from Maria as well. They didn't know what, but something was happening. Battler and the rest chased after Cannon and Nanjo. And then we realized Cannon-kun had called Dr. Nanjo, but he hadn't called us. So, we should never have followed. I wonder if Alice didn't regret her excess curiosity when she chased after the rabbit holding a clock. Ooh. I like that analogy. I like that. Alice in Wonderland, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
ダメよ入っちゃダメ見ちゃダメジェシカちゃんダメ
Go Slaughterer! I knew it! I knew it!
母さん父さん何があったのなんだよこりゃ趣味が悪いにも程があるじゃねえかよ命を奪うならそれで十分事足りただろうがよなんだよこりゃわざわざ殺した後に椅子に座らせて腹裂いて菓子をわざわざ中に詰め込んだってのかよなんだってそんな悪趣味なことをしやがるんだよちくしょうやってくれやがるぜ最高だよ最高だよ
皆さんは外へ出られた方がいいこんな姿を皆さんに見せたいなどと彼らが思うわけがありません
Nanjo told the children to go outside, but no one let him near.
ローザさん皆さんに言ってくださいこんなもの見続けては毒になる
Rosa regretted her own carelessness. She should have been able to anticipate that the children would eventually come here. She should have quickly locked it instead of standing around. So now the children had come. They had seen it! Surely, in this very moment, they were having a sight burn into their eyes, which was far more grotesque than the gross-out food Rosa had seen in her youth. While she hugged Maria, who seemed to have forgotten her emotions as she stared dumbfounded at the horrible scene, Rosa shed copious tears for them and their parents. The four groaning and crying voices, their sadness, continued to echo in a place which should have been known in God's love.
クソ野郎が
Oh shit.
またかよ、またこんな殺人を。しかも今度もやたらと凝った最高にふざけた殺し方をしやがって。
わらわはそんな嘆きより感謝の言葉が聞きたかったぞ。
感謝感謝と言ったかこのクソババ。てめえ耳がいかれてやがるってんなら俺が両の耳を引き裂いてよく聞こえるようにしてやるぜ。なんで俺がこの最高にいかれた殺し方にありがとうございますベアトリーチェ様なんて言わなければならねえんだ。ぶっ殺してやる。
前回のゲームで
Oh. Why does this look like the troll face?
お前は自分の親の死に顔が見られないと嘆いたな。
Oh my god, you fucker!
だから残したぞ。しっかり残した。よく拝んでおけ。間違いなく父親たちが殺されたことを。
そうかよ、そいつはサービス満点だぜ。気に入った。俺はてめえの息の根を止めたら顔面耕してやろうと誓ってたが、そいつは取り消してやるぜ。てめえの腹渡を引きずり出してやる。
感情に任せて思考を止めるな。すでにわらわのゲームは始まっておるのだぞ。わらわは今回はきれいに死体を残すことに決めた。なぜだかわかるか。前回のゲームでそなたがわらわの存在を否定するときこう考えて否定したであろう。それは顔面が潰され遺体の身元が確認できない。だから身代わりの死体を用意してアリバイを作った可能性が否定できない。その可能性が排除できない限り人間犯人説は維持できる。
なんだと
さあバトラー、南條に検視を任せてよいのか。ミステリーの古典では検視の医者がグルというのが伝統なのだ。なら南條に検視を任せるな。そなたが自らするがよい。
Okay. This is actually one of the first phases of Ichichi that I'm kind of spooked by. When there's no T shown, that's scarier than the T shown in my opinion. When there's no T, I think that's scarier.
間違いなく6人の死体が当人で死んだふりなどでなく本当に死んでいることを十分に確認するがいい。お前の父親が母親が腹を裂かれて臓物を引きずり出されて殺されていることを腹に手を入れてその手触りで確認するがいい。
What's up with the double laugh?
泣かねえ。チキショーチキショー泣かねえぞ俺は。
Battler suddenly yelled. His tears were still dripping down, but as though scolding himself for being girly, he slapped his face hard several times with both hands. Even so, the tears still wouldn't stop. However, he felt a hot blaze ignite in both eyes.
これだけの上等を決めやがった野郎に借りはがっちり返させていただくぜ。なら泣く時じゃねえ、自分のすべきことを考えろ。ああ、ダメだぜ、全然ダメだ。涙を流す暇があったら考えろ。涙腺なんかひるませる時じゃね
え。Rather than pure hatred, maybe it was more of an evasive hatred to blot out his sadness. However, it gave a little courage to George and Jessica, who are being crushed by sadness.
そうだね。僕たちが泣いても起こってしまった現実は変わらない。
じゃあどうすりゃいいんだ。私は父さんと母さんのために何をすればいいんだよ。
ローザ様、戻りました。
郷田さん、警察はどうでしたか。対応の指示はいつ頃来られそうだと言っていましたか。
それが電話が故障のようでして、非常用の無線機も試してはみたのですが、その天候のせいでしょうか、こちらも通じず。
なんですって。じゃあ警察に連絡がつかないということなの。あいつだ、あいつが電話線とかに採掘して警察に電話ができないようにしたんだ。
When she heard that telephones were out of order, Jessica immediately decided that it was the work of that mysterious gas. Her eyes were bright red after so much crying, and they began to grow even more red with rage.
もう議論の余地なんかねえぜ。全てが分かってる。そうだと分かる。父さんと母さんを殺したのは誰だ。
Beatrice.
あいつだ。昨日来たとかいう魔女様に決まってる。エリン首ひねり上げてやるぜ。チクショーチクショーチクショー。ジェシカちゃん、お待ちなさい。郷田さん、カノ君、行って。
はい。お嬢様、お待ちを。
Covering her unfocused sadness with anger, Jessica ran outside, torn apart by emotion. Thinking about it hastily, maybe the mysterious guest, Beatrice, who had arrived yesterday, was suspicious. However, at the current time, there was absolutely no proof that she was the culprit. At this moment, she was nothing more than a simple guess, and only one of many. So, Rosa had to make an adult decision, and stop Jessica in her hasty rampage. Goda and Cannon realized that it needed her, and chased after her.
誰にも招かれなかった客人、ベアトリーチェが犯人なんだろうか。
ジェシカの気持ちもわかる。そう思い込みたい気持ちは俺にもある。誰でもいいから犯人ってことにして横っ面をぶっ飛ばしてやりたい気持ちがある。だがその前にはっきりと理解する必要がある。ベアトリーチェってのは何者なんだ。俺は顔すら見てねえぜ。
Not time, Maria!
顔ならお屋敷に大きな肖像画で飾られてたよ。
Not the time, Maria!
あれだけ見てまだ覚えられないのかな。
なんだよマリア、こんな状況で何がおかしいよ。
ベアトリーチェは魔女なんだよ。そして黄金鏡の扉を開くための儀式がいよいよ始まったの。この6人はその生贄なんだよ。さあさあ始まるよ、魔女の宴が。今宵はハロウィン。魔女たちが今こそ祝い集う。
マリア、その気持ち悪い声で笑うのをやめなさいっていつも言ってるでしょ。
The crisp sound of Rosa slapping Maria's cheek echoed through the high-ceiling chapel. It kind of feels like, ever since the rain started yesterday, no, ever since the island had become wrapped up in the typhoon, something has gone crazy. I arrived in Rokujima while it was clear, and taken a nap because I had gotten up early. When I woke up, it had already started raining. And after I got up, that's when it all started. Suddenly, a mysterious visitor had arrived, calling herself the Golden Witch Beatrice, and it feels like the world had started skewing bit by bit into something insane. What happened while I was taking that nap? During that time, had this island been cut off? Trapped in a different world where common sense doesn't apply? Who is this person called Beatrice? Is she some unknown person trying to involve themselves with the inheritance problem? Like our parents were freaking out about at dinner last night? Or is the culprit the witch from the Legend of the Gold, like Maria says? I'm gonna repeat that line, I'm sorry. Or is the culprit the witch from the Legend of the Gold, like Maria says? Even if Jessica hadn't let her short temper get the better of her, in this situation, the visitor was probably the most suspicious. But we mustn't jump to conclusions just like that. Yeah, that's no good. No good. No goddamn good at all. I smacked my face with both hands again, cooling off my brain before it overheated. Even though it might have been a waste of effort.
これはおじい様の封筒。
Oh. On a tray, piled up with sweets that decorated the table, George and Nikki found a Western envelope which had the Shiramiya family crest done on it in gold leaf. And it was unopened.
ってことは、それは俺たち宛てってことじゃねえのか。親父たちが読んだものだったなら開封されてるはずだぜ。
その推理は正解のようだよ。書いてある。残されし者たちへって書いてあるよ。
それは犯人が残した手紙なの。中身は。
兄貴、開けようぜ。
After nodding silently, George and Nikki opened it. A folded letter came out.
読むよ。六軒島へようこそ。後ろ宮家の皆様方。私は金蔵様にお仕えしております当家顧問錬金術師のベアトリーチェと申します。
Come on, we gotta read the letter. Welcome to Rokinjima, ladies and gentlemen of the Shiramiya family. I am Beatrice, the alchemist for this family, under the employ of Kinzo-sama. I have served him for many years in accordance with our contract, but today, Kinzo-sama has announced the termination of that contract. Therefore, I ask that you acknowledge my resignation from the position of family alchemist as of today. And now, there is one part of the contract that I must explain to you all. I, Beatrice, lent Kinzo-sama a vast quantity of gold under certain terms. One of these terms specifies that all the gold is to be returned to me upon the termination of the contract. Furthermore, I am to receive everything in the Shiramiya family as interest. After hearing this, you may feel as though Kinzo-sama has been savagely ruthless. However, Kinzo-sama did append a special clause to the contract so that you would have a chance to preserve your wealth and honor. If, and only if, that special clause is fulfilled, I will lose my rights to the gold and the interest for all eternity. Special clause. Beatrice has the right to collect the gold and accumulate interest upon the termination of the contract. However, If someone is able to discover the hidden gold of this contract, Beatrice must abandon these rights for all time. The collection of the interest will proceed shortly, but if any one of you fulfills the terms of this special clause, I shall return everything, including the portion that has already been collected. Furthermore, as the first step in this collection of Kinzo-sama's death, I have taken possession of Umineko family head's ring, which signifies the passage of the Umineko family headship from one individual to another. I ask that you confirm this for yourselves by examining the imprint on the wax seal. Kinzo-sama has already publicly displayed the location of the hidden gold within the epitaph under my portrait. The rules apply equally to all who can read the epitaph. If you discover the gold, I shall return everything to you. Tonight, I ask that you enjoy your battle of wits with Kinzo-sama to the fullest. I sincerely pray that this night will both be intellectual and elegant. Beatrice, the Golden. I think I gave myself heartburn. That letter really was a joke. This Beatrice, who called herself the family alchemist, had announced that she was collecting the gold she had lent grandfather, along with the interest. And that interest was everything that grandfather had created. Since this tragedy was right before our eyes as this paragraph was read aloud, it clearly wasn't referring just to the wealth that grandfather had built up. It was literal. Everything that grandfather had given birth to. In other words, all grandfather's descendants were included in the interest.
ふざけやがって。なんてめちゃくちゃな契約だ。黄金の利子は命だってのかよ。そんなのまるで悪魔の契約じゃねえかよ。それで魔女気取りってわけか。笑わせやがるぜ。
特別条項。ただし隠された契約の黄金を暴いた者が現れた時、ベアトリーチェはこの権利を全て永遠に放棄しなければならない。黄金の隠し場所についてはすでに金蔵様が私の肖像画の下に碑文にて公示されております。つまりこういうことだね。もしこの殺人が利子の回収行為だというなら、それを止める条件としておじい様に与えた隠し黄金を探し出してみろとこう言ってるんだよ。そしてその秘密は例の肖像画の碑文に隠されているとも言ってる。
つまりこいつは魔女様の挑戦状ってわけか。黄金の隠し場所を記した暗号文を解けるものなら解いてみろと。そしてそれができなきゃ利子の回収をこの後も着々と進めていきますと、そう言ってやがるわけか。ぶっ殺してやる上等だ。
バトラ君、これ
The table had been full of sweets. So even though they had been right in the open, we had assumed they were just sweets. I mean, come on! You find stuff like this a lot, right? Oh shit! You know, boxes of chocolate shaped like golden ingots. Ingots.
こりゃお菓子の箱じゃねえぞ。本物だ。こりゃ本物の金塊だ。
片翼のわしの紋章が刻印されてる。前に母さんが話してたのを聞いた。これはおじい様の黄金伝説の金塊だよ。
Gold ingots, 3 of them, weighing a full 10 kilograms each, were piled up at the very center of the table. It was where the cake would be placed if it was a birthday party. In other words, This was without a doubt the birthday cake of the party known as the family conference.
これが本当に純度49のインゴットだったなら6000万円くらいの価値はある。バカ野郎、安すぎる。俺たちの親が6人も殺されて、そこに積まれた黄金がたったの6000万円だと。バカにするんじゃねえ。
Is Rosa eyeing that gold right now, though? Okay, I shouldn't. Still not the time, Maria. Still not the time.
さあ始まったね、ベアトリーチェ。どうせこの謎は誰にも解けないよ。だから絶対にベアとの勝ち。早く黄金鏡への扉を開いて、そしてマリアを連れてって。
Umineko no Nakukori ni Round of the Witch and Reasoning. Same time. Oh, Jesus! Oh!
お嬢様、どうか気を教えてください。
I was not expecting Requiem to start playing like that. Oh my god, that kind of scared me. That kind of scared me. How do I even save this game again? There we go. Okay, that is all I have for this time. Holy crap. Oh my god, Requiem really got me that time. I can't believe Requiem got me. Peekaboo. 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 Okay, I should stop.
Okay.